The 24th ranked and undefeated SMU Mustangs take on the Navy Midshipmen. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to college football. John Sadak alongside the College Football Hall of Famer in Randy Cross. The Mustang offense, a major challenge for anyone. Might the Mids have less margin for error this week?
Absolutely. As well as they played last week, all the errors they made, the penalties, the turnovers, all that, they can't afford any of that against Tanner Mordecai, this quarterback, and this offense, because this offense will put up points.
You speak of their QB. This is what to keep an eye on. Mordecai can throw.
He can spin it, as they say, and he's got some of the best receivers as a group of any team in the country. They are that good. That is not an overstatement. Now for Navy, they're going to play back in that three deeps, three safeties again. They have to come forward. They have to cause these turnovers. That's how Navy wins this game, is they get turnovers on the D and they patiently possess the ball on the offensive side.
Sonny Dykes, the offensive guru, now the head man in year 4 with SMU. He has won 22 games in his last 3 years, the most of any FBS head coach in Texas. Kendi Amatololo, the winningest head coach in Navy lore, trying to make it back-to-back wins after an 0-3 start. Navy won the toss and deferred. The Midshipmen had won the toss and elected to take the ball in their last couple of games. And this boot more than deep enough for a touchback. So the Mustangs have the ball in the capable hands of Oklahoma transfer Tanner Mordecai, coming off 301 yards, 4 touchdowns in their league opener. A win 41-17 over USF a week ago. He leads the country in passing touchdowns.
Pretty good offensive line up front, John. Decent running game. As long as they have Bentley in there, it's a decent running game. If they don't have Bentley, it's kind of iffy.
No Bentley to begin first play. It's Trey Siggers who gets the ball. 25 gets dropped at the 27. The full offense for the Mustangs as Jamal Glenn had that takedown. Up front, it has been in and out some. Bo Morris has been banged up, a bit of a back issue according to head coach Sonny Dykes. Look for Jalen Thomas, who last week left the game with an ankle sprain, to be limited. And Bentley, so far, not in the backfield. He did not play last week. Catch by Rasheed Rice. He gets swirled out of bounds at around the 32 by Taylor Robinson. The defense for the Midshipmen is coordinated by Brian Newberry. Donald Bernier Jr. up front, the man they call Biscuit, got a sack against Houston. Diego Fagot makes them go. He's their top tackler and tackle for loss man. And Glenn and McMorris pace them in the secondary. Kevin Brennan is back from a hamstring injury. On third down, Mordecai flips it out, and he finds his tight end, Grant Calcaterra, who has stopped short and swung down. It's going to be fourth down as Navy denies on third.
Now, Sonny Dykes had made a comment that when you play this team, you have to be willing to go for it on fourth downs to kind of match Navy's philosophy. And as of right now, it looks like they may be going for it on fourth down, or at least trying to draw them off.
They've only gone for it 7 times on the year, getting 3. And on fourth and short, Navy is going to call timeout.
Charge timeout.
Yeah, you hit on it. Sonny Dykes said it, and his offensive coordinator, Garrett Riley, reinforced it, that they could be more aggressive on fourth downs. Time now for our Under Armour Game Focus, your keys.
Well, this is a great wide receiver group. So yards after catch. For their defense, that means stop the fullback, dominate inside out. Yards after first contact, that's about the running backs for Navy, no matter who it is, including the quarterback. And on the defensive side, they know you're going to play a 3 deep safety. They know you're going to present 3 down linemen. But you have to make them guess as to when you're going to blitz. Right now, they're going to present 5 guys at the line of scrimmage, a 50 look with a blitzing linebacker for go.
And a blitz comes off that far edge. They pick it up. Mordecai steps into a deep shot. Center of the field, caught in stride. Reggie Robertson Jr. streaks into the end zone. They go for it on fourth down and get a touchdown.
Well, I mentioned about this wide receiver group, John. This is not hype. They can do it. And there's Roberson coming from the inside receiver position, and he just goes. much of a move, just pure speed. And this is a guy recovering knee surgery last year.
Person hasn't finished a year yet. He had a foot injury that derailed him a couple of years ago. Last year, now Blake Mazza, the Washington State transfer, to the point after.
Navy showed the blitz. Navy blocked the blitz, or SMU blocked the blitz. And that's a quarterback and some good wide receivers. That's how you start a football game.
Here's a good.
SMU has a 7-0 lead as we check in with Sheehan Stanwick Birch.
Well, guys, Navy coming into this game with a lot of energy after the win last weekend, hoping to start the game off strong, but SMU just doing SMU things. A lot of cheers on their side. Navy sideline a bit depleted, but they have done this before, come from behind, so they've got the confidence from last week's comeback win.
Appreciate that, Sheehan. That was their biggest fourth quarter comeback win in a decade and a half. Now the big man, Brendan Hall, 6'8" kicker. He's got a big leg. Navy's going to take a shot from the 2. Mikel Haywood. Haywood runs out of a tackle. Through another man. And tumbles down around the 40. You rarely see Navy take a shot like that, and it pays off.
Yeah, it really did. A lot of hang time. Some pretty good blocking up front. But a lot of this is just talent and want to on the part of the returner. I mean, he does a really, really nice job of running out the one tackle and looked like he ran out of his shoe there at the end.
Phillips Jr., starting linebacker, at the tackle on special teams. A solid field position at its own 39, down a score. Ruas, the deep fullback. Space for Carlinos AC. That'll be a loss of a yard. The quarterback here, Randy, Ty Lavatai, starts for the 3rd time this year. He looked good last week in his return against UCF.
Yeah, he certainly did. And it would appear that Navy has found themselves their quarterback. He ran inside, he ran outside, he got in and out of calls, in and out of plays and formations. Keep that up, you'll stay the starting quarterback.
Change of formation. Side fullback run, earned by Delano Robinson and company. The rest of the offense for the Navy midshipmen. Up front, they are down Jake Casavella, hurt and lost for the year in the late stage of the UCF game, so Sam Glover fills in to tackle. James Harris, the primary fullback. We've seen Ruas and you like the big man up front, Garrelson.
Made a difference. But like I said, you've got to stop this offense inside out on those keys to start the game. And right now in this first possession, that's exactly what SMU has done. They've stopped Navy inside out. They've pushed. You have to almost play the game if you're those down linemen for the defense for SMU. You got to play it on the Navy side of the ball. You can do that, you can frustrate this offense. First series, offense officially frustrated.
Only 1 yard initial possession. Riley Reithman has seized the punting job that 3 different men punt. Can't get that one off cleanly, so he's going to take off and run, and he's going to convert the first down. The freshman Riley Reithman, who hails from Keller, Texas, just broke the plane of midfield, piercing SMU territory.
Well, a smart decision because he had a clean runner for that block. I mean, that was going to be an easy block on that play, and he pulls that thing down and gets himself a first down. That's just a real smart football play.
Well, now second life for the offense, and James Harris II has checked in. He has not had a negative rush on his season. The senior out of Mobile, Alabama. Is it up? And gets knocked down as a flag flutters. Brandon Crossley and Devere Levelston part of the contact. Luke Richmond is our referee.
Holding. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Berry, who's moved from center to guard, seems to have helped the midshipmen.
Yeah, at right guard, but you see he got the hog tie, the necktie. the first play of this series, we've already seen SMU. The reason you got that holding call on Banbury, you had penetration by the defensive lineman, and the offensive lineman had to hold it.
Montalolo had said penalties part of his focus this week in practice. Really get flagged in general. Inside give, and Harris gets to the 48, only a couple. The defense for SMU is coordinated by Jim Levitt. First year with the Mustangs. Mike Williams is a big body up front, the transfer from Stanford. '99 started every game as a sophomore and a junior with the Cardinal. Team. He finds Gaden Umbarger, the converted quarterback. Ryan Massey, though, is right on him, shy of the 45.
That's the 50. Now, if you're this offense, you're up a play here. Ideally, you'd like to get 7 yards. You don't mind 4th and 5. You know, 4th and a long, you probably will punt the ball here. If you get 4th and 5, you think about going for it.
Late jogs off. Action, the next step. He's offense, according to Ken Montalolo. Christian Lavatai steps up. Has no space. Swallowed up by big Mike Williams and Shane Haley. So now you got a 4th down and fairly long situation.
Yeah, it's an easy deal, John. I mean, like I said, if you didn't get that to 4th and 5, it wouldn't make any sense really going for it here because of where you'd have to give the ball up, and the odds of you actually gaining 10 yards here are pretty slim. So smart decision by punting the ball.
This has been that near block punt run by Reeve. Kick to Jordan Curling, Arizona State transfer. Hang time, Curley, fair catch it around his 10. Now each team has had a touch, and the ranked Mustangs have a touchdown lead.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by The Exchange, welcoming home veterans to their exchange shopping benefits. By USAA Insurance, auto renters and home insurance. By Cooper Tire, go with the Coopers. And by ServPro, proud supporters of our nation's first responders.
The 10th meeting between Navy and SMU as they battle for the Gantz Trophy. Tanner Mordecai tossed his 25th touchdown pass on the initial Mustangs possession. In Game 6, he already has a top 5 season in program history. And 5 yards for Trey Siggers here on first down. Jarius Warren to stop.
Well, when you get after the kind of start he did with 7 against Abilene Christian, you can have a pretty good year.
That is the single game program record with plenty of time. Sideline, and that is a catch. Brought in tight to the 25. That'll be a gain of 10. And that'll move the chains.
Yep.
Who was moved.
Bounced off the ground right there, didn't it?
We are going to, I think, take a
On the
look.
completed catch on the further review.
Now the foot, you could see all the spray coming up off his foot. That meant the foot was down. But the question's going to be, did he complete the catch? So, you know, there's part of the catch. Does he go through it? Does the ball come loose? I don't know. I think I kind of saw that ball bounce off the ground some.
I agree.
And get recaught. I think this is the better angle. See the spray? The ball's near the ground. See it come loose and kind of bounce around. I believe when they look at that upstairs, he really got possession of that. By the time he got possession of it again, he was already out of bounds.
Paul Zukas is our replay official today. Danny Gray, who leads the Mustangs in catches and yards. He co-leads the conference in receiving touchdowns. Part of a trio that Sonny Dykes believes is the best wide receiving core that he's had in his 4 explosive years of passing offense.
Yeah, he's the best. It's the best receiving group I've seen on tape so far this year, at least.
And Gray, a JUCO transfer who had his first offseason of his collegiate career, according to offensive coordinator Garrett Riley and head man Sonny Dykes, said he focused on improving his body in the offseason, and they have seen more sustainable life over the course of this year thus far. A call on the field, a completed pass for 10 yards.
It's an incomplete pass. It'll be third down.
And you're right, my friend. So now what do you do with third down?
Well, did you see what they did last time on fourth down? I don't think they're real worried. Sonny Dykes isn't drawing a bead of sweat on that forehead about third down and what to do. When you got a quarterback and throw like this, you're never really out of things.
We still have not seen Ulysses Bentley IV, who we were told did practice this week. Trey Siggers has been the only running back used so far, and he's out there again. Navy pulls back some. Mordecai looks to the sideline. Seems to audible.
Well, they're showing blitz up front. Navy is. How fast can you drop out of that?
Rice moved to the inside slot. Mordecai back foot throw, tipped. Jamal Glenn got a hand on it and knocked it away. Fourth down.
Yeah, that was the question. We had so many guys at the line of scrimmage showing blitz. It kind of, you know, something kind of smells bad when that happens. You say, I can't be all blitzing. And they dropped out. Glenn was one of the guys near the line of scrimmage. He got all the way back there to get a little piece of that ball and tip it away.
End zone.
Move there between offense and Brian Newberry upstairs.
Big Brendan Hall boots it away. Chance Warren, who can fly some and gets stuck. Only gets a few here, but still great field position at midfield. 7-0, SMU with the lead. SMU 7, Navy nothing. Today's athlete profile brought to you by Cooper Tire. Navy QB Ty Lavatai, the sophomore of St. John's, Florida. Today his third career start. For more on his tale, we check in with Sheehan.
Well, this week, head coach Kenny Matalolo talked about the leadership style of sophomore quarterback Ty Lavatai, and he told us that everyone leads differently, and he wants Ty to lead the team his own way. He said Ty's a real fun-loving kid and that he may be a little bit loosey-goosey, but he's hoping that that will help the team. And when you watch Lavatai on the sidelines, he's very confident and calm and often has some fun talking with his teammates.
And here he sees the pitch game. Pretty good read on that key. And that's going to be to nearly the 40. That's going to be good to move the chains. Carlino Zacy.
Yeah, you see the way Lavatai handles the ball. That's one of the great things. If you get an option quarterback that could come off that mesh with the fullback and almost immediately pitch the ball and do it accurately, you can torture a defense because you're not even getting the quarterback run start of the option involved.
I'd spoken of trying to get either square more and working on the mesh point. That wasn't quite clean with Isaac Ruas. Chapman the stop. Armed Forces football proudly supported by Cooper Tire. Talked with Ty Lavatai about his looseness, and he cited Tua Tagovailoa as his influence in becoming calmer.
Well, he cited that national championship game in Atlanta between Georgia and Alabama. Well, Tua was when he came in that game. He goes, I watched that, and I said, I can do that. That's how I should do things.
The pitch yet again, and once again it's AC. This time he gets filled by Chase Cromartie. At around the 34, it'll be a gain of 4, 3rd and 4.
Good job up front blocking. Really nice job by Banbury, the right guard. Look like much, but when you get the ball outside, you have that kind of soft spot look on the defensive backfield. It's not hard to pick up 5 yards.
Ups here, looks like Luke Coleman checked in on the line. Michael Cooper, the big wideout, near side, bottom right. Lavatai following the fullback, and that's going to pierce the 30. That's good to convert. That'll be a first down.
See, last week this offense started to go against UCF. Now you know the quarterback's getting some confidence. Watch him follow the fullback. This is called the follow, coincidentally. You don't even fake it. You just watch that fullback come, and then you run right behind him in that offensive line. When that play's working, this offense is starting to feel itself.
Maybe Tiger Goslin, the former quarterback, slot right. He's out. Lavatai doesn't have much room. Ball seemed to jar some as he got hammered by Shane Haley.
Oh, nice play by Shane Haley. That's how a linebacker. Watch Haley come from the inside out. 23 right here. It's that white flash wearing 23 is that inside linebacker. He was coming after the quarterback from the jump. As soon as he reacted and went, the Lavatai.
He is SMU's second leading tackler. This possession at midfield. Fake the fullback pitch game. That's been Navy's best play early on offense. Isaiah Wacobia gets the trip up. He's been getting all the touches.
Some quarterbacks are able to do that and do that accurately. You have to be able to get that ball out of your hand. And you have to be able to make that ball kind of tumble end over end. When you option it too, it makes it much easier to catch.
3. And there's a block. Out of a man, Warren to the end zone. Touchdown, Navy.
Well, John, we came into the game pretty sure that SMU had themselves a heck of a quarterback. That pitch, that run, I think Warren was clearly over there before his knee came down. It would appear that Navy has themselves a quarterback that can do all the things they need him to do. That might not always involve throwing the ball, but he can do all the things they need him to do.
That's Warren's first rushing touchdown of the year, the 6th of his career. Point after is good, and we got a tie game.
Well, you sure do. I mean, you've had the blocking up front, and here's Warren, who's kind of the Swiss Army knife of this offense, playing running back and doing a heck of a job at it.
It's 7, SMU and Navy. Tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, CBS Sports Network sets sail for the conclusion of this season's European leg of Sail GP. Watch as teams compete in the most intense sport on the sea in the Spain Grand Prix, right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Evan Warren to kick. And that'll go through. Another touchback. TD, what do you see?
Well, two things. You got to look at the outside linebacker and you got to look at the safety. Outside linebacker is going to force the quarterback to pitch. So Lavatai pitches. The safety comes up too quickly. He's a little too aggressive, and that enables Warren, the running back, to go underneath him and get the outside. So that's losing contain kind of the wrong way. You didn't let him run around you. He went under you, and then he went around you.
That was the longest rush of Chance Warren's Navy career. SMU from its 25. Darius Warren, part of the contact on Siggers, who's had every touch out of the backfield. Randy, we've not seen Ulysses Bentley the fourth, last year's co-rookie of the year in the American, who missed last week.
Right, he practiced a couple times this week, but I think they're being smart and just saying we'd rather have him down the road than just this week.
Action, Mordecai. Open target at the 30. And a stumble at the 35, down 37. That'll be good for a first down. Tyler Fletcher, who got his first career start last week, stumbled Calcaterra.
And they have some big, long tight ends. And a guy like Calcaterra, and also an ex-Oklahoma Sooner, they have a guy that can play in the slot, play in tight, play out wide.
Game and nothing there. One-handed throwback. Oh, that was physical. The Raider, Nicholas Straw, just flung him away.
Yeah, and that's grabbing right by the corner of the pad as he's trying to run by. That'd be a little jarring. That's 0 to or 60 to 0 and nothing flat.
You did see Bentley is in uniform, helmet on the sidelines, has not yet been on the field. Looks like Brandon Epton Jr., the true freshman out of Dallas, is checked into the split backfield. He moves out in motion. Comes Mordecai, throws in that same direction. Good initial hit by Mikey McMorris. That's going to set up a 3rd down and long.
Yeah, we talked about make them guess, and right now Navy presents 3 or they present 5 or 6, and they're blitzing more out of the 3 look than they are out of the 5 or 6 guys up. Here's a huge 3rd down. What do you show them if you're Brian Newberry, the Navy defense? And from what you show them, what do they get? And how quickly can you get back to your responsibility if you're a defender?
Alcantara motion slot left in the trips formation. Levine out of the backfield is available down low. Over top, tip ball! No catch. Incomplete.
That was almost an interception. That was you looked at the quarterback trying to thread that ball in there. The ball just gets tipped and almost gets caught, but the ball does make it to the ground.
Now remember, Rasheed Rice, who bobbled it there, he's the man who had the tip to Reggie Robertson on the successful Hail Mary against Louisiana Tech in the end zone.
Yeah, but Johnny Hodges, nice job in the middle, getting that hand up into the air.
Warren rolling to his right. Downs it inside of the 30 as we go to New York City. A big game update from Brent Stover.
Guys, an absolute classic. OU Texas, final 10 seconds. Kennedy Brooks, essentially a walk-off touchdown. The Sooners come from 21 down to win the game.
That is bonkers. We were following that score. 25 in the 4th quarter.
Unbelievable. I know there was a sad Longhorn back in the studio in New York, and Brian Jones. Happy camper.
Motion from AC, inside run. For the 31. Last time Navy had the ball, this happened.
Well, they got the outside because they started. You know why they got the outside? They started to get the inside. You start to get some of the runs inside, that opens up everything else. That's why you stop this offense, like I noted, from the inside out.
Irion Bertezzi getting some time on the O-line here. Hey. Lavatai over the middle to Warren. First down into SMU territory. Second big play for the man who now wears 0.
Good poise by the Navy quarterback, Lavatai, because hitting guys that are wide open can be kind of difficult, especially when they're running free in the middle of the field right in front of you. But good job, good play call by Ken Niumatalolo and their offensive coaches. Up a pass. Expected out of this offense, but it's executing it can be the tough part.
It's the deep fullback. Fullback dive hasn't quite been there yet. Go to that fullback dive, and they get a good chunk, about 3.5, 4 yards there. Isaac Slade, Mount transfer with the stop. A man that drew high praise from Jim Leavitt when we spoke to him.
Yeah, he really did. The way that he's been playing, the kind of game he's been putting on the field. Playing for Jim Leavitt. Pretty versatile guy because Leavitt likes to do a lot of different things.
Did that at Oregon for him, does it now at SMU. We are through 1 quarter of play on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. SMU Navy tomorrow morning, 8 Eastern. Get ready for NFL action, behind-the-scenes, unmatched analysis on that other pregame show right here, CBS Sports Network. More than words, it's been a year of extremes for the Navy offense.
It has. Last week, they really showed what people got used to for most of Ken Niumatalolo's term, his offense. They were running it, they were physical, they were dominant.
The tie. Up the gut. About 2 yards shy of the first. Time of possession cited by both head coaches is particularly key this week. That's a big disparity.
Yeah, and he's already gone. Sonny Dykes has one time on 4th down and ended up getting a touchdown on that play. But the reason it puts so much pressure on an offensive staff on the other sideline to fight is to be desperate and take chances.
Less than 2. Lost the ball, scoops it back up. Will be right around the marker. Will depend upon the spot as they peel the pile.
He got it, the mark on the far side.
Those chains.
Now that's a fortuitous bounce, because that ball kind of went down and almost died on the ground, right on Lavatai's feet where he can pick it up. So Ken Niumatalolo and the Navy midshipmen got lucky on that fumble or bobble or drop or whatever you want to call that.
Fulston part of the contact there. You see the big body of Mike Williams with size up top. Big flicker back to Lavatai. Over the top, open target, in stride, touchdown. Kai Puailoa Rojas with his first TD, and Navy takes the lead on 24th ranked SMU.
Wow. Talk about play calls. You've got the A-back, clears right up the field, and if there's one thing you have to worry about in the passing game in this offense is that Puailoa Rojas, a guy like that, coming free, just running straight up the field from that A-back position.
37-yard touchdown pass, the first touchdown pass of Ty Lavatai's collegiate career. Bijan Nichols for the point after. And a flag down. The kick good, but laundry on the landscape. Luke Richmond, our referee.
Lined up offsides.
Defense. Penalty is declined. The try is good. Immediate timeout.
Wow, what a great play call. The stands were fooled, the defense was fooled, and the midshipmen are ecstatic.
24th ranked SMU thanks to this trick play.
There's Puailoa Rojas, there's the wide receiver. You don't worry about the wide receiver, you worry about the A-back. The A-back goes right up the field. And it's the safety's responsibility, but the safeties spend all week long support, run. I've got to get up there. I can't let them get break contained. It lulls you to sleep.
Now Navy the lead. And Upman has it from inside of the 20. A lot there, only to a little beyond the 25, make it the 26. Time now for a day in the life of midshipman, brought to you by Today's Military, and we look at the day for Diego Fago. That's a pretty big load.
Top of that, he may be having as good a season as any other inside linebacker in college football. I mean, it's a lot to say that, but if you've watched this team on tape, Fago is everywhere. To break the Navy record for tackles for loss. He gets sacks. He spends the majority of his time on the other team's side of the ball.
He loves the screen game. They haven't used it a ton. The first look to Danny Gray.
Pass complete to Gray.
Here is Fago in there on the stop. There's a midshipman slow to get up.
And the reason they're so good at the screen game, it's kind of like the Navy run game on the outside. Their receivers really block well. SMU receivers are, they get out there and they block. They're selfless.
That's Mikey McMorris, who has battled injury for several years, including this season. He led Navy in pass breakups each of the last 2 years entering this campaign and had a giant impact in last week's first win of the year.
Oh, that block punt. He blocked his elbow. He was so far in past the punter.
Ken Niumatalolo said Navy would not have won the game without that play. Sliding grab, Rashee Rice able to come back and curl to the football and pick up the first down, a gain of 12.
Yeah, watch Rashee Rice. He drives his pattern, and then he drives back to the ball. It's one thing to be a receiver and get to that breaking point, but the differentiation of the guys that really do it well are the ones that can drive to that breaking point and then come back and sprint back to the quarterback, give that quarterback the target, and still catch the ball.
They moved him to inside receiver this year. Sonny Dykes thinks that's been kind of a move. Now it's Austin Upshaw out of the flat, getting a hand up in the face of Jamal Glenn. Wrestles him out of bounds. That's going to move the chains again.
Here we talk about on sweeps for teams. Hey, they have the numbers outside. Sometimes, you know, your quarterback, Mordecai, looks up and says, if I throw the ball out there, I've got 2 of our guys and only 1 of their guys. We have the numbers if I throw it out there. That's
Levine remains the back in the backfield. Bentley yet in that backfield. Levine getting his first touch. Just made first contact, second and third man in. Helped finally stumble him at the 43, gain of about 3, second and 7. No change here for SMU. Calcaterra's coming back in. We see Rashee Rice, who's had a touchdown in every game this year for SMU, back on the field.
And there's the big tight end right there. I mean, it's kind of unusual to see guys that line up at tight end, some lining up in slots.
He crosses over the middle, but a shot to the far left side, caught G. Robertson, who has the 66-yard touchdown grab and gets another first down for SMU. They're getting chunks.
Yeah, the scheme that Sonny Dykes runs is so impressive. I mean, it is predicated on a quarterback that can throw it, and this kid can sling it.
And SMU loaded with depth it hasn't had for Sonny Dykes. Play fake to Siggers. Holds up, Rice wide open, gets hammered and holds out of the ball. Flags out. Jamal Glenn with the contact. Remember, McMorris had just gone down, and now Glenn.
Yeah, that has got a really good chance of being targeting, leading with the head, hitting with the crown of the helmet.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 16. After this is still previous plays under further review.
Most prolific passing attack in the conference, with McMorris already, it seems, done for at least a few plays. A loss of Glenn would be monumental.
Yeah, it really would be, especially, and you're also facing a quarterback that can make that throw. Don't discount that throw. That's a second level, behind the linebackers, in front of the defensive back, but that's just like thrown on a rope. So you're worried about the DB getting there before the ball, but not really. The DB got there to make that hit, but he didn't get there before the ball, that's for sure. And I don't see much of the malicious intent we often see, or the dipping of the head and hit with the crown of the helmet.
Every targeting call gets looked at. If targeting is confirmed or upheld here, you would see Glenn lost for the rest of the game.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 16 is disqualified. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, SMU.
So Navy's second leading tackler and one of its 2 best corners is done for the game.
Yeah, obviously they don't like it here. We are at Navy. But this is about player safety. And if you ask Kenny Niumatalolo and Sonny Dykes and whatnot, would you rather they erred on the side of safety? They're going to tell you yes.
We see Elias Larry, the freshman, is on number 3, bottom near left. And he is lined up against Danny Gray. Backfield, Gray into motion, flag.
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Cameron Irvin is one of their reserve offensive linemen.
Yeah, I think that's kind of lucky for Navy, because with that motion, I didn't see many people really moving and adjusting to that motion, which would have been a pretty easy pass, I think, if they did snap that ball.
The fifth is the other corner on the top right portion of the screen. The sophomore. Fires, end zone intercepted! Picked off in the end zone by Johnny Hodges.
Mordecai sells the pump fake hard and then goes to throw it. And Johnny Hodges never sees the fake, never adjusts to the fake, but he's right there turning around as the ball is thrown right into his kitchen. That is not a very good pass by Mordecai. He does have 25 touchdowns. He now has 7 interceptions.
But we asked Sonny Dykes what's something about Mordecai that he does better than you thought before he arrived. And he said of his 6 picks entering today, he thought only 1 was his fault.
Yeah, that was true. There were tip balls and there were circumstances on some of the other ones. One was a true pick, as his second true pick.
He has the ball. From SMU, living in the backfield, Elijah Chapman. A tie, spills him for a loss of yardage.
And Elijah Chapman, he's 6'1", about 290 pounds, lines up over the right guard. Loose. The idea in this option is you do turn people loose that are going to be optioned.
Later pitch to the edge. There. Forces football, proudly supported by the Exchange. Last year, SMU routed Navy, a deceiving final score. Navy scored the last 20 points of the game, lost 51-37. SMU had 12 tackles for loss in that game. That's hard to do against an option offense.
When you're stuffing them the way they were, it's not as hard as it sounds. Couldn't get traction, and the D-line did.
7 flags. Ty was spilling back to pass.
False start. Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
More guard, Josh Pena. These were a big focus for Ken Niumatalolo this week.
The turnovers, penalties, those are the kind of things Ken Niumatalolo talked about that we just can't afford to do.
Couple of minutes, and now that costly 3rd down false start. And they move again. So 3rd and 7, it became 3rd and 12. Looks like back them up again.
That's going to go against SMU, I think.
Offside. Defense, number 57, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Mike Williams.
No bucking in the center. He snapped the ball and passed it through his legs, and he couldn't see it. You weren't allowed to slam him. Slammed him.
Originally stood on 3rd down. A couple of men seem to move there. Flags are out. Lavatai over the top. Through the hands. Big Shipman were moving in the backfield as he targeted Umbarger.
Illegal shift, offense, 2 players moving at the snap. That penalty is declined. It's a 4th down.
Kai turned it over on his last touch with a pick in the end zone, the first of Hodges' career.
Overall, if you're Navy, that was the net effect. You'll trade that out all day. Like SMU was getting ready to score. Now can you get a good punt out? Offense back a little bit more.
A bit. Reithman, the right-footed kick. Brandon Crosley backing up. Fair catch wave. Barely brings it in cleanly. The 30. Navy a touchdown lead on the 24th ranked team of the country. Perry, the last time these 2 teams met in Annapolis, what a show he put on. Almost 360 yards of total offense. He threw a touchdown, ran for 2 more, including the game winner, and had the big draw offsides on the hard cadence as they upset the top 25 SMU Mustangs. Blown up, ball free, and incomplete. Signaled late after the ball was already loose, looking for Danny Gray in the flat.
Just a little bit off on that little quick flip out to Gray. That was really done by McMorris getting through there, penetrating and disrupting that play.
The 10, Siggers goes out wide, empty backfield. First time SMU's done that. Screen, this time to Rice. Some pace and space, a gain of 8 to the 40. Johnny Hodges the tackle. So here's third down at a little more than a yard. Call it 3rd and 2. 3 wide left, tight end right, Calcaterra. Mordecai wants to change it up. Siggers slithering up the middle, flag down. He ran out of the first ankle grab by Hodges and got the first.
Right in the middle of the pile. That screams hold.
Yep. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Goes on Alon Ali, the senior primary center who has been playing some tackle recently too. So now shades of what happened on Navy's last possession. A penalty impacts 3rd down to make it 3rd and 12.
Watch what Navy presents. How many guys are up? How many actually come and blitz?
Navy seems to audible. Hodges off the near left edge. He fades into coverage. Mordecai still pressured, pocket collapsing, ball knocked free! Fago's got it! Touchdown Navy! And a 2 TD lead on an undefeated and nationally ranked team.
Well, honestly, John, you can't say enough about Brian Newberry, their defensive coordinator, and their whole defensive staff. And those calls they've been making, they're showing 5 guys, 6 guys, 7 guys up. That time, they showed 5 or 6. They only brought 4. They stunted them, and that stunt is what precipitated the hit that caused the fumble.
Clay Cromwell knocked it free. Fago the scoop and score. Point after Bijan Nichols. A team that started the year 0-3 is now up 2 touchdowns on SMU.
Well, it looks like a blitz, but it's a stunt. The ball gets knocked loose. The captain, Diego Fago, picks it up, scoops it in the end zone for a touchdown. And upstairs, the guy that called it, a little excited. You have to allow for 7 guys. Watch Cromwell, watch Fago. Cromwell runs the stunt. He causes the fumble. Fago, who actually kind of backed off on the stunt, was in position because he backed off to pick up that fumble and go around. Great call upstairs and excellent execution by the Navy defense.
And that is the first sack against SMU on the year. They had been leading the country 0 before that play. 20 yards on the Fago touchdown. Massey from his own 6. He's got some space, banging it outside. 35-40, streaking up the sideline. Somehow stays in bounds and takes it the distance. Touchdown SMU. Did he go out of bounds? He was tight to the white side of around the 30 or so.
Answer as the great play. Feet, toes in, no heel, toes in. It's points. Full execution on that return. You answer a huge defensive play for a touchdown.
His first kick return for a TD since a 100-yarder against Navy 2 years ago. In 30 seconds, 21-14. 31-14. What a wild game this has been so far. 95-yard kick return for a TD by SMU's Brian Massey.
Oh, and the perfect cure for what ails you if you're Sonny Dykes and this football team, after giving up that play for a touchdown, going down by 2 touchdowns, your special teams has a great answer. Nice execution and blocking, and there's no cure for speed. And that was all speed on the outside.
We had possessions go from end zone touchdown, sack, scoop and score touchdown, kick return touchdown.
It's set up front, and then suddenly, now it's speed. Now it's see you later. I mean, there's nobody gonna catch him. Once he makes that break and gets to the outside, forget about it.
That was pretty good.
Plus, he runs like a racehorse, you know? See, linemen use their whole foot to run. The fast guys run on the balls of their feet.
Well, he is a Mustang. And run for Navy. Yard as we check in with Sheehan Stanworth-Birch.
Well, guys, you're exactly right. That touchdown by Brian Massey for SMU just injected life into the sideline. They were completely deflated after the last Navy score. I've also been keeping an eye for the offense for SMU. Ulysses Bentley, the running back who leads the team in rushing. He is fully dressed, mouth guard on, helmet is on, looking like he's ready to go in, been on the bike, but we've not seen him enter into play. He's been nursing a hamstring injury, missed last week's game, but we were told to expect to see him.
Appreciate that, Sheehan. Between Levine and Siggers here. Nice keeper by Lavatai. Gets about 4, and there's Bentley on the bike.
Lavatai keeps rushes over the
Bentley
right
was
side.
one of the best players in the country last year and has had a darn good 2021.
Yeah, and I'd be honest with you, when you get a guy that can run like this kid and he's got any kind of a hamstring issue in a year like this, I mean, I know we're getting towards the middle of the season. After a week of rest, it makes a world of difference.
Newman slow to get up. He was offered by Navy at a high school. Last week, he got carted off the field in the first half. X-rays were negative, and he came back in the game in the third quarter. Dyke said he had practiced fine all week, and 6'3", 324, helping to stuff that inside run game.
On in this game, SMU was very effective dealing with the inside running game of Navy.
Up 30% on the year on third down. Today, 3 of 6. Lost there looking for Ruas, and Lavatai overwhelmed. Penetration there again. And Will Jones, the Baylor transfer who started at end last week, brings him down.
That defensive end, you know, you're kind of turning them loose because you're going to option off them. Banbury goes by him, and Will Jones doesn't take the hint. He never slows down and eats himself up a quarterback.
Up here by SMU. Lee Wraithman to punt. Five. Initial stumble might have cost him, only gets about 5. Under 6 to go until halftime. We've got a touchdown game. This fall day in Annapolis, Navy up a TD on SMU. Headed your way, the halftime report powered by Ram Trucks. Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Danny Cannell from our CBS Sports Network studio in New York. They'll look at scores, highlights, first half stats, and analysis.
We started this season off with a lot of stuff in the top 25 looking, hey, that's kind of normal. You know what's not normal? That's normal. No A&M, no Iowa State, no UNC.
First play of the game, SMU, which had -1 yard rushing entering that play, gets about 5. Hodges slow to get up for Navy.
Officials timeout for an injury.
SMU now has about 160 yards offense. Navy has 154.
That pick in the end zone. That's
in the
right.
first quarter.
At about 10 pounds in the offseason, had a career performance when Navy played a solid game, came up short against Houston. Had a career-high 5 tackles in that game.
There's Hodges right there. And got a full speed blow to the head.
Here with Bentley in the backfield. He gets fed the ball and popped. Right into the backfield goes Jarius Warren and rudely greets the sophomore back.
Well, we've seen the SMU D lineman deal in the backfield. Here's a defensive lineman, 2 actually, for Navy getting in the defensive backfield. Warren dealing rather severely with the running back. Give a D lineman a shot 3 yards deep. It usually doesn't end well for the running back.
Loss of 3. Siggers is now in. SMU has yet to complete a 3rd down conversion. Over top, and there's the first of the day. Rashee Rice swarmed by midshipmen, including Kevin Brennan. But they get the first down in a big way.
Right there in a little hole. Rice just sits down in it. Mordecai catches him.
Issue rotating players here. Navy late just got Berniard off.
Officials giving him time to make that.
Play fake. Siggers picks up the block. Floater. Dangerous ball. Where was he going there?
There were 2 receivers and 4 defenders, so the numbers were not in his favor.
See the sigh. Mordecai entered leading the country in touchdown passes for OC Garrett Riley. Only the 4th FBS quarterback since 2000 to have 24 touchdown passes through 5 games. The first since Geno Smith nearly a decade ago with West Virginia. Your look from Navy seems to be changing things up. Soft, they bring an extra body. It's Hodges. Mordecai finds space to Robertson. Soft spot in the Navy defense. Willie Collins the 5th to stop, but that's a first down.
Yeah, real nice job. Navy in that 3 deep safety look. 3 backers underneath. Nice hole right exactly where Robertson is.
And now they go tempo. Mordecai near side. Upshaw doesn't have a lot of space and gets yanked out of bounds just inside of the 20. Gain of about 8. John Marshall helped him out of play. More personnel change. Calcaterra hasn't been a huge part of the passing offense for SMU yet. They look for him on that interception in the end zone.
Safeties running this 3 deep safety
Starts
as they
timeout,
are.
Navy.
They
It's their second and a
they
half.
do a nice
Yeah,
job
30 second
controlling
timeout.
the kind of the type of the part of the field that Calcaterra excels at.
Second timeout for Navy. The second quarter has had some huge moments.
Well, it certainly has. I mean, you got that, I guess you might call it a trick play, but the throwback and the touchdown. Then you got the fumble. Cromwell causes it, the go gets it, and the answer from SMU, 95 yards of pure, unadulterated speed.
Massey took it to the house. The last time SMU had a kick return score, it was a 100-yarder by C.J. Sanders here in Annapolis 2 years ago. Well, Mordecai out of Navy's called timeout. Is that timeout more about getting a breather in the tempo SMU has played with here?
It's got something to do with it. I think I had to play with it. They have so much rhythm going. Why not try to disrupt it?
2nd and 3. Siggers in the backfield. He gets fed the ball and has his first explosive run of the day. Gets to the 12, gain of 8. That'll be good for another first down. So now they're in that tight spot, though, where you can get a first down at the 2 or tighter. Calcaterra slot right. Elias Larry faded back some. He's the corner. Near left on the bottom of the screen is matched up with Danny Gray. Right back to Siggers, and the hole very similar here. Gets chipped down at around the 6, gain of 6.
Look at these offenses like SMU runs, very similar to what Memphis does, what UCF does, they can spread you out in this red zone area. There's so much grass to defend. That inside run, as we've seen the last 2 plays, can be double deadly.
Coming up on 3 minutes, SMU seeking to tie the game. Siggers again. Houston part of the pile. DeAndre Williams 2. Flag out. They got 3 to the 3.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 92. After distance to the goal, automatic first down.
And DeAndre Williams.
There's DeAndre Williams right in the middle of the screen right there. There's the face mask. Right in the middle of the field behind the defense. Had a great view of that.
Side of the 2, first and goal. Some bigger bodies and backs in the eye. Levine acting as a fullback for Siggers. Lead block, and Siggers dropped. He'll lose a bit. Xavier McDonald part of the contact in the backfield there.
That was full speed attack by the Navy defense. Xavier McDonald coming from the outside linebacker position, just slicing through that offense for that tackle.
Tommy McIntyre, tight end, an extra big body. Cameron Urban, extra offensive lineman on the left side. Jet sweep motion, handoff Siggers, launching, and touchdown SMU. Trey Siggers, the grad transfer from North Texas, with his 2nd score of the season, and SMU within a point of a tie game.
That was just an excellent job physically. SMU taking Navy defenders and depositing them in the end zone and making it easy on Siggers to just slice through for that 6 points.
Converts the extra point. Back-to-back touchdowns to tie the game for SMU as we journey to New York to check in with Brent.
John, game 1 of the SEC on CBS doubleheader. Stetson Bennett with a touchdown strike to Adonai Mitchell. Georgia leads Auburn 17-3 in the second, guys.
Appreciate that, Brent. That's a big lead for the Bulldogs in the early stage.
It's a big lead for that defense. I mean, it's not saying in a rivalry like Auburn-Georgia, don't ever celebrate early, no matter who you are. But that defense that Georgia puts on the field, I haven't seen a defense like that since Kirby Smart was running the defense for Nick Saban at Alabama. I mean, they are really, really good.
Almost feels like the Tide of the Bulldogs could be on a collision course. Ty Lavatai only 1 timeout, under 2 minutes, tie game. Brendan Hall, 6'8", the tallest place kicker in America. He's got a huge leg. Kick goes beyond the white. Take a look at the AP poll, powered by Ram Trucks. What stands out to you?
Well, Iowa and Penn State, that was a big matchup. I mean, that's basically a playoff determiner, at least for those 2 teams, and Iowa's leading that thing 14-3. I don't think you can look at the top 10 these days and not, for me, be impressed with what Luke Fickell has done at Cincinnati. I mean, we're used to seeing Alabama and Georgia and some of those teams, but Cincinnati going into Notre Dame last week and winning, man, I tell you what. American Athletic Conference has to be pretty proud of what they're doing.
SMU just had an 11-play, 69-yard drive that took a little over 4 minutes. The run game was critical. If you're SMU, what are you thinking in terms of your timeout management here?
Well, you're also thinking about the ball. So while you're slamming at the ball and trying to cause a turnover, wait till you get close to under 1 minute before you start worrying about some of these timeouts.
This doesn't have a whole lot of space, only gets a yard maybe.
Like right about now.
Wiley hit on the stop. No gain on the play. 3rd down.
SMU
Charge
has its
timeout.
full complement.
SMU, their first of the half. 30 seconds timeout.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You're going to call a timeout here. You've got 1 minute and 19 seconds to go. You've got Navy in a 3rd and 3. If you're saying, okay, let's play percentages and you're Sonny Dykes, I believe you're going to think, look, we stop him here on 3rd down, backed up in this situation, not sure they're going for it on 4th down. So you're only defending right now for 1 play.
That is, though, the part of the dice roll against Navy at times. If they get even a yard plus, how short would it have to be? Is there a scenario you could see Navy going for it on 4th down?
Oh, yeah, well, remember, Navy gets the ball to open the second half.
Right.
So they'd be more than happy. But the last thing they want to trade is a gamble for trailing going in at the half and having to score that first time in the second half.
Isaac Ruas, who entered leading the team in rushing yards, is hit at fullback. He gets fed the ball. Get a ton of space, only to the 33 is forward progress. Gain of 2, so here's 4th down at about 2.
No, I think you punted here. That's easy.
Gary Wiley
Charge
on the
timeout.
stop.
SMU.
A minute and 12 seconds and a break later, you're going to get the ball back. Now, granted, you're giving the ball back to, as you've already discovered, a very high-test, high-powered offense that has a timeout and a minute and 16, let's call it a minute and 10 by the time this punt happens. That's plenty of time for Sonny Dykes' offense to function.
Just called his 2nd timeout, so 1 left. Clock frozen. Deep mid to punt. Jordan Curley returning. Arizona State transfer, nestled at his own 30. Gets it off. Ball out of bounds, flag down. There was some contact to the way downfield.
Yeah, when it comes like that from that position, it usually involves the gunner on the outside running down. The
During the
defensive
kick,
guys holding.
Holding, receiving team, number 26, 10-yard penalty, first down, SMU.
And Westfall. Let's take a look at what Tanner Mordecai has done so far.
Well, he's thrown his 7th interception, but man, he's thrown some dimes out there to his receivers. The interception was a heartbreaker, but Mordecai is one of those guys that just sort of keeps smiling and dialing. That's how he's built.
Slings it out to Siggers, a little tall, makes 1-man miss. Second hitter, though, brings it down. That's McDonald. Only 1 timeout, 1 minute, clock rolling. Mordecai has thrown 4 touchdown passes in every game this year. He's got 1 so far. Today, Danny Gray near the sideline. That's the first down to the 37-yard line, a gain of nearly 20.
What's easy to see in this situation, Navy is basically dropping back. They've got 3-4 guys almost in a fence about 20 yards off the ball. To the far right of the screen here are 4 more defenders. They're not letting SMU throw the ball down deep.
Siggers and Elias Larry, who's getting a lot of playing time here after Jamal Glenn was ejected for targeting early stage of the second quarter. Now Blake Mazza, the primary place kicker, transfer from Washington State, has hit from as long as 51 in his career. That was at Utah when he was still a Washington State Cougar.
And remember Brendan Hall, the big guy that kicks off for him, he's got a leg that they say he's hit 65-yard field goals in practice.
Mazza, I think, would be probably around the 55. Elusive running by Tyler Levine. He gets to midfield. That'll move the chains. Clock stopped as they set the chains of the ball. 1 timeout.
You're almost in Hall's range. Another 5 yards, you think about it.
Looking for more, incomplete. Roderick Daniels Jr., the freshman, tumbling on the ground.
The perfect conditions. You want to talk about, a field goal. There's almost no wind. It's kind of a just a breath of wind, and what wind there is, judging from the ribbons, is coming from left to right. So if you want to try a long field goal, these conditions are pretty good for it.
23 seconds from midfield. Mordecai finds Calcaterra. 40 for a first down to stop the clock.
16 seconds, and they smartly get right up on the ball.
Levine to the 35, 7 seconds.
It's only a 52-yard field goal, so it's
Third and final timeout for SMU.
within
30-second timeout.
Mazza's range.
7 seconds. Is there time to run another play? I mean, there's no timeouts.
There's time to throw something on the outside, a quick out. I'm not sure if you're playing percentages that you just don't go ahead and run your field goal right here. Just in the off chance that something happens.
And the offense is going to take the field here. No timeouts, 7 seconds.
Well, it's probably going to the bottom of the screen. More than likely a very quick out play for a couple of seconds.
Gray is outside right, bottom of the screen. Calcaterra in the slot. Mordecai looking there, throws there. Calcaterra hops out of bounds with the first down. So clock frozen at 4 seconds, and they've gotten Mazza a touch closer. At the 29, so this will be about a 46-yard try, make it a 47-yard attempt.
Yeah, good clock usage, very nice play calling, good composure by SMU in this offense here in their last possession.
He's hit from 51 in his career, but not at SMU. And Navy has one timeout left. Ken Niumatalolo will try to freeze the transfer kicker.
Navy. 30-second timeout.
Last week in a similar situation, we saw a fake from UCF. Would they dare try that? One of their quarterbacks, Derek Green, is their primary holder.
And remember, UCF did Gus Malzahn has done this a few times in his career. That's a pretty risky version of that fake when your holder gets the snap and just flips it over his head like that. Short answer, no. Long answer, heck no.
Well, SMU looking for a go-ahead 47-yard field goal. Flag out.
Who moved?
Referee Luke Richmond. It looks like Brendan Hall is coming deeper onto the field for SMU.
He just wants to make sure his services are available.
A more powerful leg between the two kickers.
False start. Offense. Number 61. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The redshirt freshman Dalton Purdue, so now backed up another 5. Here comes the 6' 8" freshman, the tallest place kicker in America, Brent Hall. Missed a 49-yarder in the opener at Abilene Christian. From 52 yards to try to take the lead. Snap, spot, his kick on the way. No, sir! The penalty proves costly indeed as the 52-yarder comes woefully wide and short, and it remains tied at the break.
Snap is good, hold is good, laces are out of the way, and he hit it fat. If you play any golf, when you hit a ball fat, you hit the ground first. He hit the ball, he hit the ground, then he hit the ball. That's why that thing swept out left.
You have described my golf game to a T. We have hit halftime, tied at 21. We'll go to our CBS Sports Network studios after this break. Indianapolis tied at 21. John Sadak, the College Football Hall of Famer, Randy Cross. What a wild first half.
Well, if you like big plays and you like excitement, you had to be nuts about this first half. I mean, we had a little bit of everything. First fourth down that Sonny Dykes gets. What's he do? He goes for it all and ends up getting a nice big touchdown to Roberson. And then all Navy does is they answer back with a little throwback pass. Then you get a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Then you get a kick return for a touchdown. It was big play after big play after big play.
And those the Marco's Pizza plays we love. The stats in the first, what stood out?
Well, the two takeaways were obviously pretty doggone big and important. The lack of rushing yards, SMU kind of fixed that in their last possession because they had -1 going into that possession. But Navy getting almost 100 yards in passing.
Touchdown for Ty Lavatai in the air. Fair catch wave. Navy had won the toss and deferred as we go to Sheehan Stanwick Birch for word on Sonny Dykes.
Well, guys, I asked Sonny Dykes what was he mad about at the end of the first half, and he said he knew that was what Navy was going to do, try to make them false start. But he said we just really can't give up big plays as we get into the second half. Also caught up with Kenny Amatololo. He said the good news is we get the ball in the second half, but that kickoff return for touchdown killed them. They had all the momentum and they lost it that way, but they're going to get the ball now.
Appreciate that, Sheehan. Big plays and mistakes on each side. It's college football. Unpredictable. Plus, and by Lavatai as we take a look at the big penalty.
Well, there's Dalton Purdue right there. Check him out. Shift, and the reason they shift is Hyman to do that. And walking off at the end of the first half, Dykes was sharing his feelings on that call.
Modern day.
Very sharing.
Wow, it's a big block, and Lavatai's largest run of the day shields the football and gets nearly to midfield. Shane Haley had the contact, and his hand went to his face as he took his helmet off right after the contact.
Watch the lane. When you bite on the fullback like that, you've got a chance. And again, you've got that follow play. They bite on the fullback who's leading the quarterback through the hole.
It's on Lavatai today. That run for Ruas gets about 3. This is what Navy did on its possessions in the first.
And the thing about this offense and this coaching staff, specifically on the offensive side for Navy, Sonny Dykes talked about it, is their ability to adjust. So you can stop them at times, but you have to be able to stop the adjustment that comes after the first adjustment. So it's just a constant, just the change that you're looking at.
And blown dead.
It's early.
Full start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Barry, the senior guard.
In that stance and that little quick little quiver before he went off on the line of scrimmage, that's all it takes. I mean, they're in sprinter stances to start with. If you look at them from behind, their feet are like shoulder width, and all their weight's on their hand, and they are blowing off the ball.
Banbury said coming off the ball, being more explosive and staying low. Point of emphasis for his line. Lead here, late flip, just gets it out to Tiger Goslin, and he's got nowhere to go. Trevor Denbo in the backfield will drop him back to the 47.
Job by Denbo, paying attention, because the play initially is going away from him. He's on the backside, and the backside suddenly becomes the front side. Denbo closes on the quarterback and almost causes a fumble exchange. It's a play by Denbo.
Well, now 3rd and 12. What do you look for?
Obviously be pass, but it's an outside run.
Mordecai. To the backfield and sacked. Oh, SMU brings the pressure, and Mike Williams right up in his grill, drops him at the 38.
At the very beginning, we talked about stopping this offense from the inside out. On that possession, start the second half, SMU stopped them from the inside out. Look at that penetration across the line. I mean, a running play has got no chance. A passing play has no chance when you have that kind of pass penetration.
Also, they now reaching the punt. Jordan Curley, return man. Got a little bit of space from the 21. This big block, 35-40, and angled out of bounds, just shy of the 45. Fago helped him out of play.
Immediate timeout.
We'll step aside, tied at 21.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. By Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the third year in a row. And by Mattress Firm, where you can save up to $500 on better sleep.
All even at 21. SMU has not known a lead since it was 7-0 in the first quarter. Mordecai. Didn't flip. Finds Robertson. Gets to the 48. Gain of about 3. Stumbled there by Fago.
Good job of being patient by Mordecai right now the last couple of possessions, because Navy is that back pretty deep. They're in that 3-deep safety look, which makes everything happen in front of the safeties.
McMorris here. Rice into the backfield. Fed at the screen. Eludes the first hit over to Marshall. Spins off the second hit. Gets to midfield as we take a look at SMU's possessions in the first. What'd you see?
I saw an offense getting better and better as that half went along. I mean, they are starting to get the time of possession back to a more equitable spot. They've got more yards. They've got more first downs. They're looking dangerous.
1 of 5 on third down so far. Play fake. With a block, made Marshall miss. Brennan drops him a yard short. Here's 4th and short. Do you go for it?
I think Sonny Dykes goes for it here, yeah. He's got the momentum. Everything's kind of moving with him right now. Why not go for it here? Your defense is playing good.
First time they went for it on 4th down, they got the opening touchdown of the game. Mordecai, a hard clap. Fago comes on pressure. Mordecai improvising, and he's got the first down. And we spoke with offensive coordinator Garrett Riley. He said Mordecai runs better than you think he would.
You know why he ran well here? He had to. There was nothing to the right where he thought the play should go. He cuts back the other way. He showed some good scoots. I mean, that's going to come in handy, and that can be another part of a weapon that Garrett Riley, but Sonny Dykes can use.
Fresh set of downs. Shipman with him. He's got the first down into the red zone all the way to the 16, a gain of 13.
Shaw just ripping out of that first tackle attempt. And had him by the leg, and he just ripped out of that.
Elias Larry. Mordecai looking end zone instead. Sideline. Field again, it's Upshaw. Dropped at the 10. So in Beanie Williams in the contact, Jamal Glenn was ejected. A targeting call in the early stage of the second quarter. We've seen limited Mikey McMorris. Just slow to get up in the first half.
Yeah, in the last couple of possessions, it seems SMU and Sonny Dykes' offense is starting to kind of themselves. They're getting the whole thing going. They're really getting a rhythm going. Navy has got to figure out a way to disrupt that rhythm.
Split backfield. Navy made a late sub, bringing on Busick, the D end, and taking out the striker in Marshall. Blitz is on ball, briefly free. Mordecai down and dropped at the 20. Nicholas Straw, part of the contact there, 3rd down.
Well, Navy didn't find a way to do it. It was kind of self-inflicted because of the snap. They're taking advantage of that play. Setting up 3rd and about 13.
They have to get to the 5 for a 1st down.
They get close, they'll go for it, I think.
Mordecai. Flushed again. On the run against Busick. Finally throws it away. And 4th down arrives. Busick had just subbed in before the prior snap.
Yeah, good job up front, maintaining those pass rush lanes. Well, that's kind of like herding cats there, trying to keep that quarterback in front of you. Hey, if you're Navy, try to flinch again. If you're SMU, whatever you do, don't move.
For the lead, Mazza. Hurts, and SMU has its first lead since it was 7-0. Senior, who transferred home to his native state of Texas, puts SMU back on top by a field goal.
I think the Army-Navy rivalry means a lot to me. There's no game like it. The pageantry, the tradition, all of it. And just having that opportunity to play on a Saturday when no one else is playing, it just heightens everything that, you know, is going on.
63 days to go in the countdown to America's game, the Army-Navy game, presented by USAA on CBS Sports. Diego Fago's first career start came in his freshman year in the Army-Navy game. He is an intense young man. He's got a scoop and scored a touchdown today. It's a fair catch wave, yes. And the burst attempt from Mikel Haywood, who did have a solid return in the early stage of the game. He faces a deficit for the first time since the first quarter. What's your feel at this stage of the second half?
Well, so far the SMU defense has done a very nice job of dictating to the Navy offense. They've played on the Navy's side of the field. They have formed sort of that, I always describe as kind of an inverted cup. You take a saucer, put it upside down. That's what the defense has done. And Jim Lovett's defense is playing really strong right now.
Run for Harris. Navy has tried to establish that fullback dive, has had limited success. Shane Haley, that stop. It's something that both Jim Leavitt and Sonny Dykes spoke about a lot this week, that stopping the dive was the critical piece of their defense.
Hey, if you can stop the fullback game, you stop the defense. I mean, it's usually that simple. Now, defensive ends are playing on Navy's side of the ball.
Lavatai following Harris. That worked for a chunk in the first half. Only 2 yards, 3rd down and 6. Football is proudly sponsored by USAA. 6 for Navy.
Behind schedule, when your first down play doesn't do much, to 3 or 4, that still leaves you 6 short. Got to find a way to start moving people off the line of scrimmage.
Pitch. And out of bounds beyond the marker. That's good for the first down. Daniel Jones.
Look at Lavatai starting to take a few chances with the ball too. That quick little flip. That is such a pure option offense, kind of a flip of the football. You see that thing when it goes over end over end like that. It's so much easier for that back to catch it when it does that.
They'll bring him down. Fresh set of downs. Following his fullback again in Harris. to the 40, gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Wiley had the contact there.
The front for SMU is begrudgingly giving up yards. Really nice job, though. 4 guys doing a really good job. 1 guy you can afford, 1 guy not being quite as good, and that's what's happening right now.
350 last week against UCF. The pedestrian today. Lavatai earns all his yards here. That was a hard lick.
It's a well-blocked play. It really was, and a smart decision by Lavatai, kind of following that fullback inside and taking those 3-4 yards that are offered. On schedule, though, so right now it's 3rd and 2, or if you don't get first down on this next play.
Percent on 3rd down of the year, 4 of 10 today. Harris, and for the first time in a while, the fullback able to get that push. Haley trips him after he breaks midfield, first down.
In the box, inside, and when you say the box, when you're looking at a running team, that means both guards in the center. And those white jerseys on the last 3 plays or so are being pushed back, penetrating. That's the difference.
At 11 yards rushing on his first 5 carries. He gets 6. Plunge. Dick Ruas. Into that fullback dive. It's starting to wear down SMU as we check in with Sheehan.
Well, guys, Navy quarterback Tai Lavatai looking more comfortable. And one of the reasons why is quarterback coach Ivan Jasper has been on the sidelines the last 2 games. It's something that Jasper's done throughout his career. We saw him do it with Malcolm Perry. He told me before the game he did it last year as well. But Lavatai told us in our meetings this week, he likes having him down here. It makes him feel really more calm and confident. They can talk about plays, get immediate feedback, and see eye to eye, and there's no confusion.
Appreciate that, Sheehan. He gave a lot of credit success last week to Jasper's presence. Couple of yards here, and this commitment to the inside run seems to be working for Navy.
Beginning of this drive, it didn't look that good. The inside of this offensive line is starting to get comfortable for Ken Niumatalolo's offense. It's upon Jim Levitt and his defensive guys to start creating those negative plays again. Get across the line of scrimmage, disrupt.
That big center, Darrelson Masoniai, who added nearly 40 pounds in the offseason. Now the pitch. Kai Puailoa Rojas. He had the big TD in the first half, and he gets a first down here as they convert again.
How about that block out front? Just chopping down the cornerback, getting Rojas those extra yards.
This will be the 10th play of the drive. This feels like the prototypical Navy offense.
It's just what Ken Niumatalolo needed this football team to do. It's what the defense needed them to do. Stay on the field,
and eat clock and perhaps force the hand of SMU. Lavatai. And nothing there. Pocket collapsing quickly, and Gary Wiley clamps down on it. That'll be a loss of a yard at 39.
Really smart job by the defense. They are not biting on the back end. They're reading pass from the jump. Lavatai is looking at down the field. Look at this. Where are you going to go with it? Receivers down the field.
Second at 11, thrown off schedule some. Harris, nice job up front. Devere Levelston just engulfs Lavatai. That was a top 50 JUCO transfer. House Tyler Junior College and forces 3rd and 10.
He fights right through the block so effectively and goes right into the quarterback. Never even buys the fact that the fullback might have the ball. He assumes it's the quarterback. At least 5 or 6 here to go for it on 4th.
Pitch, he just threaded the needle there, and Warren extending. Just about what you had asked. So now 4th down and about 5. What are you looking at here? Cromartie helped him out of bounds.
Yeah, it's closer to
field goal units out. Bijan Nichols, 6th this year, his lone miss on a bad snap. He has been money.
50 yards. It's incumbent upon the offensive side to hold themselves and not jump off.
Charge timeout.
To lose these points if you're
SMU.
Timeout,
30-second
SMU.
timeout. Immediate timeout.
Inside of this field goal block team on defense. Get through, get up, get your hands up, go for the block. The ball's got to be lower.
SMU called timeout. Junior place kicker Bijan Nichols to attempt a 50-yarder, trying to tie his career long and tie this game against a nationally ranked opponent.
Keep an eye on 16, Denbo. Second guy in on the bottom of the screen. He has already shown on the defensive side and special teams, he's got the ability to kind of get skinny and get through cracks. That's what you need in this type of situation.
He does have a block kick this year. Has had 1 block this year, 2 in his career. 50 to tie it. Jan Nichols nails.
All 3 phases of that, John. The snap, the hold, everything's right there. The ball's right there. And remember how we saw the kicker from SMU kind of get it fat and all the spray come up? That was all football. Nichols got nothing but football on that one and drilled that 50-yarder.
Nichols, who pumps crowd noise or opposing teams' fight songs into his earbuds in his pregame routine. He has been so cool and calm. He's had 3 game winners in his career, and that one to tie it. SMU's vaunted offense, undefeated on the season. They'll have the ball back.
What if the other guys don't bring their band?
I think we can still hear it in his head.
Oh, okay.
Here, SMU had thinned that some. That last Navy drive, though, creates a little bit more separation.
Yeah, that's what Ken Niumatalolo wanted out of his offense. He wanted the number of plays. He wanted the yards. Obviously, he wanted the touchdown. But it kept the defense on the sideline, and it now puts the onus on Sonny Dykes' offense coming down the field now.
Evan Warren the boot. Return as Massey lets it fly. Navy drive was 13 plays, 42 yards. It consumed just over 7 minutes of that career long tying 50-yard field goal by Nichols despite an SMU timeout. And remember that timeout. They tried to freeze Nichols. They have 2. Mackay. Couple of turnovers for SMU today. One on a pass in the end zone. Pistol look. Deep back. Fago on the blitz. He gets dropped hard. Flag as Fago was taken out. Siggers gets pile drived into the ground.
That was holding. Fago got through the line of scrimmage and got held.
Holding. Offense. Number 56. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Was Hickman, the freshman, who's filling in at center.
Here comes Fago on the blitz. Hickman gets a little bit of a tackle. Disruption a player like Fago can make on an offense. Force you into a mistake.
6 penalties on SMU. That's uncharacteristic. Rice swarmed by midshipmen. And Fago in there on the contact as we are through 3 quarters of play. It has been a thriller in Annapolis. We shoot to the 4th. Fourth quarter tied at 24. The 24th ranked Mustangs of SMU undefeated at 5-0, including a win over TCU. Navy began its year 0-3. Upset UCF last week, trying to take down another national name in the American. Mordecai. Flag out. Looked like another hold. Throws on the run into heavy traffic. Knocked away.
Yeah, when guys start getting away from blockers, you have two options. Let them go or hold them and don't let them hit your guy. He is always the best way to go, by the way.
Personal foul, tripping, offense, number 71. That penalty decline. Third down.
Now goes on Jalen Thomas. Had an ankle sprain last week and left the game.
And it's 2nd and 18. They say, no, we won't take that penalty. Make it 3rd and 18.
SMU just 1 of 7 on 3rd down today. Late motion from tight end Nolan Matthew Harris. Legault has been all over the place for Navy. He fades into coverage. Needing 18, check it down, Levine. And two defenders are right there, and Beatty Williams along with Johnny Hodges. And 4th down arrives.
Well, between the defense and the penalties, Dykes' offense didn't get a chance to kind of get on schedule. They were behind schedule the whole time, trying to dig out of a hole.
Warren, the return man, Navy set up. Oh, just gets it off. Carry and good hang time. Warren from inside of his own 25. Got tripped up at around the 30. Good coverage from Upshaw downfield. For early 4th quarter, SMU's defense has clamped down on Navy's run game.
Hey, if you would have told Sonny Dykes before this game started, look, after 3 quarters, you're going to hold them to 157 yards rushing, only 11 first downs, and less than 50% on 3rd down conversions, he'd have bought that all the way. His defense is doing a heck of a job, and Jim Leavitt and his staff on the defensive side has so far called a heck of a game disrupting this Navy offense.
This defense just forced a 3 and out. Tie forced to keep there, and no space at all. DeVere Levelston.
Making the tackle.
And just descends. Look at those long arms. Descends from the backside and just engulfs Lavatai. He can't get that ball off, and Jim Leavitt, his defensive coordinator, has to love that play.
Born in Texas, but St. Petersburg, Florida, was with longtime friend Willie Taggart at FAU last year. Back in Texas working MU. Field, man, he has taken some hits today. 3rd down arrives. Delano Robinson part of the contact.
You're looking at 2nd and 7. Now, realistically, you have to have at least 4 yards, I think. 3rd down. You have to have at least 4 yards to even consider, if you're Ken Niumatalolo, whether or not you're going to go for it on 4th down.
Warren. And Harris, nothing there. Gets a yard. Shane Haley, part of the pile.
Yeah, that was a really nice answer by Jim Leavitt's defense. Inside with Williams coming off that nose position. Was fun to watch. That was some good physical defense inside, getting that punt team on the field, which is what you always want to see on defense.
Stopped by the Mustangs. Reithman, the return man. The original kicking was off at times among special teams woes for Navy. He wanted this left. He sends it left. It's out of bounds. Well, no chance at a return. Out of the 35, SMU will send its high-octane offense back out there.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Today's Military, by Under Armour, the only way is through, and by Marco's, pizza lovers get it.
Today's flyover to Boeing F-18E Super Hornets, the Raging Bulls, out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, led by Commander Patrick Ubuki, class of 2003, the United States Naval Academy. Bit of an awkward snap. Siggers adjusting the ball on the run. Cannon does get the first down.
Great job on this snap. Snap was wide to the right. He comes all the way back, Mordecai does, to get that handoff to Siggers. That's a pretty smooth move by the SMU quarterback.
Had some really positive inside runs. You pointed out they were negative rushing for the drive 3 possessions ago, and it was Siggers in the game that really moved the ball. Curley hasn't had many touches, been mostly in special teams, and a drop here. Willie Collins, the 5th in coverage.
He caught that like he had cold hands. Kind of turned his head there for a quick second to try to check on what was coming. Forgot about the catching it part.
Each team had a 3 and out. After first down of the first play, Danny Gray, oh, he can burst. Fago gets on for a ride. He gets another first down to the 42.
What was that, like 3 strides for that first 10 yards out of the blocks once he caught that ball? I mean, that was no time. He got that ball and just disappeared.
It's a nearly top 10 JUCO prospect overall, the 2nd-ranked wide receiver. Transferred in, play fake, Mordecai all day. Now steps up, pulls down, with Cromwell right behind him. The coverage was there from Navy.
Yeah, one of the reasons you run the coverages that Navy's running is on the back end, you want to have this kind of coverage. I mean, Calcaterra, the tight end's running where it looks like it's open, but there's 2 defenders right there. It's going to take the ball a minute to get there, so you can close by the time throw the ball to him. So that was nice D.
It would seem that Bentley is banged up. We only have him in for 2 plays on the game. It's Levine who gets the touch here. And Hodges latches on. Gets very close to that marker, right around the 32. They'll move the chains. Taylor Robinson part of the contact too.
Ball on the 32-yard line, 1st and 10, SMU.
Well, Levine, who had just 3 carries on the season entering today, has been the definitive number 2 back. Split backfield here, Siggers and Levine on 1st and 10. Through space, Hodges part of the initial harm. That's close to another first.
So do you get kind of the feel here that last possession or so that SMU's offense kind of taking control? I mean, they're feeling what they're doing. They're running. They're being effective. They're turning the tables. They're using the clock. Yards on the ground.
Again, Navy showing pressure. Levine undercut by Hodges. He's been all over the place. So here's 3rd down. What are you thinking?
Well, I tell you, Hodges and Fletcher. Fletcher was pressuring right off the side. You know, it's 3rd and short. Remember what we said earlier about Sonny Dykes probably in response, going for it on 4th every once in a while. He's already done it once to get a touchdown. I'd expect 4th down to be on the table here.
Tight trips left, Calcaterra right, inside run.
That's close.
Coming around the 21. That is 1st down.
See, now if you're a Navy football fan and you love the way your team plays football, this possession kind of reminds you of everything the guys on the other sideline don't like about your offense. It, and it gets 1st downs. Tough, and it's being physical. Good answer by SMU.
comes from Navy. Mordecai, one-on-one, end zone! Tumbling grab for the touchdown, Jordan Curley! And SMU takes the lead 30-24 with 8:19 to go.
But they'll review that, make sure it's caught, but watch that ball. Both hands underneath it. Moving, he's got it and secured it the whole way. How do you like that throw? That was a laser.
No shark involved, though.
No.
No, Curley, the Arizona State transfer who had the drop earlier in the drive. It's the 22-yard score. Now the point after from Mazza. Point game.
What a nice job by Sonny Dykes' offense. Uses the running game, then sets up Mordecai to throw that bullet for 6.
SMU the lead in the fourth on a touchdown laser by Tanner Mordecai.
Well, here's Jordan Curley, and watch him get this release. And as soon as he gets this inside release, right there, as that inside release happens, Mordecai is thinking, I'm giving him the ball because he's running free. And he puts that in a perfect position. Because, I mean, he was the only one that could really get to it.
6 touchdown passes for Mordecai, 2 today. 20 of his touchdowns have come on first or second down. Now touchback here is we reflect back our Under Armour game focus. How are those keys holding on?
Well, the yard after the catch, not bad for SMU with 143. Look at that dominating inside out. They have dominated the inside, giving up just 31 yards. For Navy, yards after first contact, okay. They haven't really had what they really want. Make them guess. They have had 2 takeaways. They've had a sack, so they've kept SMU guessing. But they're running out of fingers in the leaky dike theory there to stop the water.
Lavatai. Back, able to keep. And there's Levelston again, who's had a read on it, particularly this quarter. He does get 5, 2nd and 5.
Now the offense you saw when they kicked that field goal last, where they stayed on the field, they got positive yards, they were running the ball. That's the offense that Ken Niumatalolo wants on the field right now. Has to get that blocking inside as much of this clock as you can and get a tying touchdown.
About 3.
Up the middle.
So 3rd down. Williams with that last stick. Are you already thinking a couple of plays here?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, living on the edge. That's kind of how this football team functions. Heck, that's kind of how the American Conference functions in general. I mean, taking risks on offense they're all very familiar with that idea, and Ken Niumatalolo is thinking 2 plays here if necessary.
Mike out, left, and run. The 35, that'll be a gain of about 3. That should be good to move the chains. And they will, it's a first down.
And just watch the inside. Look at the blocking in there and the job that's being done. It's just excellent the way they're doing that. This is sort of pushing all the chips into the middle of the table for Navy. They are all in on this drive.
Continues to churn the legs, pushes to the 38. To 3, Armed Forces football, proudly supported by Serve Pro. SMU hasn't won in Annapolis since 1998. It's something that Sonny Dykes himself on his coaching show this week said stunned him when he read that and realized it's
one of the stadiums around the country. It's but one of the hardest ones to A lot of favored teams have come out of here losers.
Harris, the fullback, Lavatai. Off a couple of hits, gets a couple of yards. Kendi Amantalolo has had 5 wins over ranked teams. It is now 14 years as the head coach. To put that in perspective, the program in the prior 30 years had 5 such wins.
It has been the halcyon days of the Navy program of late. The way that they've won, the way that they've run the ball. Staubach years were golden years. These have been very good.
3rd and 4, only gets a couple. Shane Haley, a vicious first hit. It's 4th down and about 2.
Yeah, you might find this hard to believe, but I think you go for it here. And you keep this drive going. I mean, really have much choice. You're down to 5 minutes to go. If you're Ken Niumatalolo, you are thinking one thing and one thing alone. You're thinking this first down.
Now Navy, it's 4th and call it 3. Might they employ to try to get these 3 yards? They've been able to chip some up the middle, but that's hardly automatic for 3.
No, not with the way this D-line is playing the last couple of series. And you'd like to think you can get on the outside, but don't forget the way those defensive ends have crashed on Lavatai. Every time it seems he's gotten the ball off a few times really nice, but generally speaking, these defensive ends and outside linebackers have taken the run option away with the quarterback and made him pitch the ball. That's what I'd do right here. I'd let the D tackles take the fullback away. I'd let the ends take the quarterback away. And if he can get it out, he can get a first down. If he can't get it out, it's your ball.
That's one of the elements that he worked on this week. Squaring his shoulders and making defenders commit on the pitch game. 10 of 15 on the year. 1 for 1 today to throw. Lavatai, tip ball incomplete. Active hands for SMU, and they hold on 4th down. Gary Wiley knocks it away.
Well, you go out of character, off script, and you decide to throw it. That's the #1 risk, is it just doesn't work out, and that really didn't work out.
124 SMU leads. Headed your way next. College football coverage continues. Mountain West, undefeated Wyoming takes on Air Force. New Mexico State battles Nevada at 10:30 Eastern. Catch it all right here on CBS Sports Network. These are the undefeated group of 5 teams.
Coastal Carolina's been fun to watch. The Fighting Mullets have been something.
SMU with a short field after they turned Navy over on downs. Navy elected to pass on 4th and 3.
Yeah, and Gary Wiley, look at him right here. He's on the outside stand-up defensive end. Watch him. Cooper tries to get the release. He fights through it, and he just gets in Lavatai's face. Gets up and gives him nothing but chest and arms to look at. He had nowhere to throw the ball. Wiley did his job perfectly.
What'd you think of Navy going past there?
Sometimes when you try to fool somebody else, you don't fool anybody but yourself.
Ziggers on 2nd down. The last time SMU had the ball,
it was tough, it was physical, it was smart. That great grab by Mordecai. They got that ball back over to Ziggers. They moved it effectively. And then they finished it off with that great bullet into the end zone for just barely about knee-high ball for a touchdown.
Now we saw Curley, who had the 22-yard touchdown grab, getting his arm, his shoulder worked on after that tumbling catch immediately thereafter. Into the flat for Rice. Marshall gets blocked off well, and then Navy collapses on the ball. What's the call here?
Yeah, that is good defense inside out by Diego Fagot, and that whole Navy coming from the Navy defense coming from the inside, setting up 4th and 7.
You're at the 38, so you're looking at about a 55-yard field goal try.
Oh, you're thinking 100%. I think you're either going for it here or you're pooching it. You're punting it. setting up maybe Navy going the long way.
One timeout, Navy, 2 for SMU. 4th and 6. SMU had 3 fourth-down conversions on the season entering today. And as their offense, it appears, takes the field, they're going to look for a third this afternoon.
Yeah, no, I like this. I mean, remember last time they tried the long field goal with Hall? He kicked the ground before he kicked the ball. That does not instill confidence in the coach.
This could be a backbreaker.
I'd go to my tight end here. Calcaterra lined up on the right side.
And instead, it's a punt by Mordecai on the quick kick. Lunging grab by Mbidi Williams for Navy.
Smart heads-up play by Mbidi Williams, catching that thing.
3.5 to go. Navy 1 timeout. For SMU, our Serve Pro first responder, SMU return man Brian Massey.
Yeah, this answer by SMU and Massey to the scoop and score by Diego Fagot just sapped the energy out of this stadium and a little bit out of that football team on the other sideline too, Navy. That was, I think, easily the biggest play of this football game.
That happened the midway point of the second quarter. Fumble from 20 yards and a 95-yard kick return to go to the pitch game for Warren. At the 25, Massey helped him out of play there. Couple of yards. We're approaching 3 minutes, 1 timeout. What are you thinking?
Thinking SMU has done one heck of a job here. Finish the drill, finish the deal. In this defensive staff, find a way to shut down this possession right here, and you've done what you wanted to. You've held them under 300 yards total offense.
100 since halftime. A bent knee, that's no catch. Not brought in cleanly by Warren.
Third down.
Third and 8. Connected on 3 of his first 4 passes. I batted away. An incompletion.
Out here up front if you're SMU, I believe.
Time with 2 men in his face, flips it out. There's no room to move. Ruas immediately wrapped up by Shane Haley.
They sold out, but they were smart because they were playing the screen. Get to Lavatai, but they were all over the chance. Little screen pass.
He's going to call its final timeout. 2:46 to go, facing 4th and 9 at its own 24-yard line. SMU's defense has been exceptional on the day, particularly since the break.
Especially in this second half.
Yeah.
The dominance up front by this defensive line when they really needed to be. The calls, the blitzes, the job that this defensive staff has done. Sonny Dykes' offense has also done a good job tonight, but to me the story of the game is the job that this defense for SMU has done against this offense for Navy, who had such an impressive game last week against UCF.
Flags out, play dead.
False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Second penalty of the game on the senior guard, Pierce Banbury.
I almost think you've got to
Please
punt.
reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 46 seconds.
You're giving up a touchdown here if you give SMU the ball here. At least there's a chance you can get the ball back.
Offense remains out there. It's the deep fullback. Time. 4th and 14, and he's dropped. SMU defense wins it again. The story of the day has been Sonny Dykes and Jim Levitt's mighty D, Elijah Chapman. swallows up Lavatai, likely for one final
Big
time.
disadvantage. You're not used to being in the shotgun, so you take the snap under center. Linemen are so much closer when you're starting things off from under the center like that. They have a shorter route to the quarterback. It's easier to pressure the quarterback from under the center, especially with linemen that aren't used to pass blocking. These are linemen that are used to run blocking. Outs for Navy, 2:41 to go.
See how aggressive SMU is with the deep back. The game has been steady and effective. Some touches of Straw.
Tackled by Straw at the
3, 2nd and 7.
Put the ball in danger by doing this. You run Levine, you run him inside, you have your offensive line. Basically, their marching orders is no one gets a clean shot on the ball or your running back. For every play, no downside to this. You've got the clock running. It's all in your favor.
Again, some shake. Just part of the pop at the 5. That's going to be good for 1st and goal. Fletcher in there as well. Nationally ranked SMU.
Going into the kneel down on the 5-yard line.
Formation on the doorstep. Be powerless to stop the clock, devoid of timeouts.
Came in here as a couple touchdown underdog, like they were a favorite for a good part of this game. Credit to Sonny Dykes and his football team and the way that they executed when they had to, really starting from that kickoff for a touchdown on.
SMU started 5-0 for a 3rd straight season. First time since the early 80s. Mordecai and the 2021 version of SMU are going to begin the year 6-0, while Navy's attempt to follow up its lone win of the year falls a touchdown short. And SMU is going to achieve something it hasn't done in nearly a quarter century, and that's win in Annapolis against Navy.
Well, it was a couple years ago. This team started 8-0, finished 10-3. One of the better years they'd had since the days of the Pony Expresses.
Now, Sonny Dykes is building a monster with the Mustangs in Dallas. He and SMU, top 25 in the country, 6-0 on the year, and 2-0 in league play for the first time since 1998. SMU wins at Navy 31-24. Kai's run of 4 or more touchdowns comes to a close, but he'll gladly trade that for a win.
I was going to say, he'll trade it. This game looked for a little while, and the frustration that offense had to be feeling. But for as high-tech as Sonny Dykes' offense is and as good a thrower as Mordecai is, I think really the difference was not so much the passing game but the running game, especially in this second half, the way that they kind of started asserting themselves. The first half, while there, was -1 total.
Time for one of the great traditions in college football. Time for the alma maters, the Navy Blue and Gold. Navy blue and gold, SMU. Montalolo's club. A loss today. The final numbers, total yardage, a giant disparity, particularly coming out of the halftime locker rooms.
And where the real advantage was at one point in this game, time of possession wise, Sonny Dykes and SMU really flipped that back on the other way on Navy.
And Sonny Dykes is down to the field with Sheehan.
Coach, what a game. So many big plays out there. What in your mind stands out in how you guys got the win?
Well, we just played hard the second half. I mean, defense really played hard. Thought those guys did a tremendous job. You know, it took a while for us to kind of get caught up. They made some big plays. You know, they hit us on the pitch back and throw, and we, you know, gave up obviously the sack for a fumble for a touchdown. So it wasn't real pretty. We struggled a bunch offensively. We never could get very comfortable. They did a good job mixing stuff up. And, you know, but our guys hung in there and played hard and got those stops in the second half.
You told me at halftime you wanted to limit those big plays. You limited them to 3 points in the second half. Your defense played phenomenal. What was working so well for you?
Yeah, you know, guys just playing assignment football. That's what you have to do against Navy. I mean, they know what they're doing. Ken does a tremendous job, and the guys play incredibly hard. I have so much respect for them. But our guys, you know, they came out and did what they were supposed to do, played with a lot of discipline. You know, and handled their offense in the second half.
Well, congratulations, 6-0 on the season. Best of luck away.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. What a game. That was fun. Thank you.
SMU takes it for the Hall of Famer Randy Cross, Sheehan Stanwyck Birch, and our entire crew. I'm John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. So long from Annapolis. We go to our New York studios. It's Inside College Football. Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Danny Cannell are standing by.